Yes, demons and addicts all over this unfucking holy nation, world, and everything in between, cryptids included. It is time to light that slab. It is time to get them coals burning and that horror sauce cooking. Here we are again on another edition of the Horror BBQ. Tonight I am extremely horny. And to my right is one of Mortimer Deadfellow's kin, known as Mort Cthulhu. Yes, Mort Cthulhu. Sorry, I had to look a little closer. I'm getting old. I mean, I just celebrated 4,900 years earlier this week.
You're still pretty young.
I'm still young. I got eternity to go here, people. But I am Reaper Dexter Ward tonight because we are counting down some of the best film adaptations of probably one of the best. It's so hard. It's so hard. We have the great H.P. Lovecraft, who we are discussing tonight. And then I feel like after doing this one, we got to do a Stephen King, send off. And I think we also need to do, of course, Clive Barker as well. Because their stories have inspired some of the most important, fantastical, amazeballs horror films that have twisted the very fabric of our fears as we see it come to life.
I agree. Yes. They feed our fear realm very well.
Absolutely. And if you look, and I have looked quite a bit at a lot of H.P. Lovecraft quotes from himself back in the day. Fear has always been that essential ingredient to his writing. He wanted to scare the fuck out of everyone. And who thought that an author from goddamn nearly 100 years ago now could have written probably he was ahead of his time. He was a pioneer of horror. And these cosmic horror films that we have seen. One of the ones that is currently still a Shudder exclusive, the Color of Space, with the great Nicolas Cage. They're everywhere. There's so many H.P. Lovecraft films, and some of the ones are independent horror films, and they're great. And we're going to be talking about some of those this evening. Before, I'm just excited because I feel like it's like the intellectual horror hour when we're talking about, some of these authors and some of the most diabolical works that have given credence to so many classics like Reanimator. Hello! And many, many more. And as you know, Mort Cthulhu, his descendant, of Lord Cthulhu, he could tell you all about it. Just watch the slime. Last time we had to put newspaper down. It's terrible. But just make sure you're not getting it all over the keyboard. But before we get into all this unholy madness, we're going to take a quick commercial break to our brothers over at Horror Struck Hot Sauce. Can't have your barbecue without your meat dripping. That's right. If you want that turkey, whether you're deep frying it, burning it to a crisp, stuffing it with all that good stuffing, and you want it to, resonate your passion for horror. Maybe you want to throw some horror struck hot sauce on it this year. Fuck the brown gravy. Let's get some of that great horror sauce dripping all over that motherfucker. And don't forget, Yule is right around the corner. Get those horror struck hot sauce gift baskets for this Yuletide season. By the way, share this shit out. Anywhere and everywhere there is a Cthulhu, a horror lover, and of course a Lovecraftian lover as well. I don't care. Wake up the dead, your mama, your auntie, grandma, sister, cousin. I don't give a fuck. Let's make sure we are spreading this horror goodness on this Friday evening. And woo, it was a wet and cold one today, just the way I like it. Mausoleum was particularly smelling like the dead, and that's the way I like it.
Mine was more of tuna. A little bit of seaweed thrown in there.
Just a touch, just a touch. I love it.
That's why I have to hear this. Man. Mortimer won't let me sit down without having plastic on me.
Lizzie says, how is Mort Thulu the creepiest Mort?
I'll take that as a compliment.
Right. You have like, you're kind of, you're Cthulhu inspired, but yet bringing almost a Punisher skull look at the same time. So you're kind of like a double trouble.
Well, I have learned from my great ancestors that once you destroy one's mind, that the only thing left is the fear.
That is so fucking true. And that is exactly our topic for this evening. For our counting down of some of the best
Lovecraftian.
That's right. Because some people say they're Lovecraftian inspired, but these are the ones that are direct stories.
Yes. He was a priest for us for a long time, so we know quite a bit about Lovecraft. He got a little too close, though, and Grandpa really wanted to send him into the realm of madness, but I was like, I told him personally, let him get more followers to us. I mean, we got a whole bunch of villages that need a lot more fish people.
That's right. And I love that he was able to rent me some space in one of those dimensions, and business has never been better.
Yeah, I told you those are busy waters.
All the time. If they can, do that on the water, you can also have me on the water as well, bringing up the really good, fun people. All right. Where do we want to begin our descent into darkness here? What would be one of your personal favorites there, Mort Thulu, that you think was one of the best H.P. Lovecraft adaptations to film?
I will go with Dagon.
Ta-da! I mean, that is a face only a mother can love.
He looks like a Lord. Yeah, but I do think I'm related to him in some realm.
Dagon, actually, in the realm of the occult, is known as a name for one of the many devils across this world. So
we'll take him.
Excellent choice.
Yeah, we'll take him.
Well, give us a little bit of history on this one.
Well, the thing that drew me
There he is. He's back.
I think that was a depth charge.
It might have been. The waters are a little thick over there.
Okay.
Try again.
The Shadow over Innsmouth. That would be the basis of the original story for Dagon. Well, the film Dagon, which is 2001, mind the way. And we have a couple boating out in the sea around Spain, the outskirts of Spain. And they end up having a boating accident that forces them to go ashore and seek help.
Mm-hmm.
And then they find one of our lovely villages. And the locals just to give them the coldest, fishiest welcome we can muster.
Indeed.
And it's like through this film, you get to experience, I guess, let me see. And for me, I picked this one because it's kind of odd for me, because it's like, to me, they're trespassers. Personally, you know, because it's like nobody invited them. And it's like, those are, you know, family members of mine they're running and screaming from. So it kind of, it's a tough one for me at times. But it's like, I guess it's, this filmmaker was to see through their perspective.
Right.
Of coming across us for the first time. And I think it's a little mind-blowing for most humans.
I mean, nothing more scarier than the fish people.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Because for me, it's like most of the time, you know, we just, hey, is that a barnacle or your face? Or your mother looks like a flounder, or, you know, do you kiss your mother with that squid? You know, it's like, yeah, exactly. So it was good to see my people finally getting their time in the moonlight. We're not real big on the sun. I mean, you understand that too. That's another trait that Mort the Mort family line has. You know, they don't like sunlight. He's not even a vampire.
No, but you know, he sheds.
Okay, I was told, get back in your coffin.
No, we weren't talking about you, Mortula or Mortlock. Sorry.
Don't mess with me, boy. I got my eyes on you.
Well, you know, and it's a film that offers, you know, something more terrifying than the typical Jaws, you know, who's always got a stick up his fin.
Well, I mean, I think you see personally, and I've talked to him before. I believe he had a license plate stuck in his back molar, and he wasn't thrilled about that.
No,
and he was asking people for help. They were trying to say, you know, smile, you son of a bitch, and shoot him. So I mean,
and trying to pass that through your, you know, colon is not exactly a happy experience.
Well, scuba gear's not fun. I can say that from experience.
Nope.
Microplastics, if we want to be honest.
You think he just spit it out, and he doesn't do it.
Oh yeah, no, he's greedy. I try to tell him that. You got to be careful. If it has a shell, crack it out of the shell and suck it out of the shell. It's like, but he's like, oh, I'm a shark. I don't do that. And it's like,
think of it like clams.
Well, I don't tell him how to fish people, you know.
Oh man!
Like how many hooks in the face have you caught? You know.
Exactly right.
I've had a fisherman lift me out of the ground, up, you know, out of the water, and hold me up by my lip. Took a picture with me, and then threw me back in the water.
Right.
Didn't even tell me his name. It was rude.
Nah, they usually don't.
But that's kind of how I feel about Dagon here. It's for me, it's like tourists coming to my home and freaking out because we try to be friendly. I mean, we're all inclusive. You know that. You know, it's like
Exactly.
you came, but you know, you stayed with us a while. You didn't leave with any tentacles. You did get gills, but that was your own fault. I told you not to eat that, but you know,
Right.
you didn't trust me on that one. But it didn't last. You know, it didn't last. You're fine. But
Exactly.
but yes, I think it's one of those first delvings, like with Stuart Gordon, our director, leading you, and he's literally one of, if not the best directors for anything H.P. Lovecraft. He always has been.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to come up more than once tonight, and
You can definitely tell that he
I
has
feel
spent a
seen.
lot of time with these
Yeah,
stories.
I feel seen. It's like, doing ancestral DNA, and it's like 23 and tentacles.
Yeah.
And he gets to tell me, it's like he sees my people. I appreciated that. That meant a
Let
lot.
my squid people go. I mean, he's waving the flag for you. It's
Exactly.
fantastic.
Exactly. You know what I mean? If people want to go to an island that they shouldn't be on and not leave when they really think they should, it's on them. Then you're chum, We can be chums.
It's just another really great film that is definitely highly creative and is not like that typical status quo. I mean, sure, there are so many different underwater beings to worry about. You don't just have to worry about crocodiles. You don't just have to worry about sharks.
Oh yeah, no. I'm more of a fan of the Kraken because he's all
I
business.
mean, he did a
He's
bang up
always
job, Pirates Caribbean.
well, yeah, Davy Jones is a nice guy, but he just trusted the wrong woman, and then he took her off. And it's like when she's a goddess of the sea, because even myself, man, I live in the sea half my life. I'm not going to piss off a lady that controls the sea. I'm not stupid. I know when to pay my respects to Ariel and, let her and Flounder go do their thing and sing on a rock,
Yeah. So give it to us visually and effects wise. Where does this film sit?
Well, I give it to the point to where I believe they convincingly shows the mix between humanoid and fish. Well, I would more say, I'm gonna say aquatic than fish aesthetic, to where you're turning human beings more aquatic. So you're blending more fish traits and things in. But you're getting good, decent scares for its time. Some of the CGI, it's 2001 CGI. It's only going to go so far.
Right.
But the other aspects of it is people really are giving it their all, for it. They're really going for it in this film too. And it gives you that, foggy, creepy, it's like you could watch this with the fog.
Yeah.
To play if you're getting your mariner fisherman, Gordon's fisherman vibe on. You know what I mean? Watch
Arthur
this.
Treacher.
You know what I mean? Watch the fog, this, and I know what
Long
you did.
John Silver's.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Get the crunchy butter dips, not fish.
It's fish and chips night.
See, I don't get upset by that because you're not talking about octopus, so I'm all right. That I got more percentages. And I eat fish too, so humans from time to time, but that's where I get my chips from usually.
Exactly.
Yeah, 23 and tentacles. Yeah, they'll tell you if you're a squid or a cuttlefish pretty quickly.
Right.
Yeah.
But and this is one of those types of fears that H.P. Lovecraft loves to kind of pull on with people, especially back in those times. Shipping, and I mean shipping as in boats and things were really, really super important
and dangerous.
Oh, extremely dangerous.
Like with especially in this, like, not to cut you off, but you made me think of it, is like when you were talking about the classics of like Edgar Allan Poe and things like
Mm-hmm.
that, these people always have like that, like that feeling of mort. They have that feeling of death layered in within them. And H.P. Lovecraft always has that sorrow, that madness, that inner turmoils built into all of his stories.
Mm-hmm.
And it's to play with your mind. It's to bring you closer to us.
Exactly right.
But at least you hear a good story along the way.
No better storyteller than H.P. Lovecraft, of course, which especially with the next one that we got coming up. Yep, it's there. Good. Just making sure that I had it. This was not even a full novel. This was a short story called The Curious Case of Charles Dexter Ward. And I love how filmmakers can take a short story and make it into a full feature because let's face it, when we're talking about H.P. Lovecraft, even if it was just a short story, there's so much there, so much detail that you literally can get a first, second, and third act out of. You know
Right,
what I'm saying?
right.
And at the height of his incredible film career, um, when you want the guy that can bring the terror like no other, you call on the great Chris Sarandon to really punch this home. Uh, in Fright Night, he wooed us. He stole all of our chicks.
Yeah, yeah,
As the great Jerry Dandridge, but in The Resurrected, this was a darker,
yeah,
more sinister Chris Sarandon, um, which, it really kind of brings a different level of terror. The idea of, someone within his lineage in modern times, because Charles Dexter Ward supposedly, dies in like the 1800s, and someone down his lineage just inherits the home, and also it's unholy secrets.
the best homes come with those. I mean, you got. I've had issue in the supernatural retail, to try to rent properties and stuff, and it's harder and harder to find ones that come with those horrific secrets built in like that. Yeah, I'm serious. It's like I was just recently getting an apartment because I wanted more of a beach house. Let's
Well,
travel. Let's travel. Or houseboat. You know.
this is the yeah. It's like this case, this house didn't come with the corpse facts. I mean, the
Yeah.
the
The
original
deeds.
owners.
The deeds and
you
the
know
deeds.
this what they say, the devil's in the details, right?
Amen.
Well, in this case, Charles stumbles upon um I think it's like his great 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 uncle.
Great great
And
great great
this
great great grandpappy. No,
that yeah.
no,
I
I'm
knew
just
it was one of those two fucks.
no.
But in this case, he uncovers the secrets to resurrection. Um, that's right. We can do that too, Jesus. Anyway, in this case, though, it's not exactly in the conventional way. um, and he's a brilliant scientist himself, although his great 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 grandpappy was a little bit more of a, you know, alchemist slash
Necromancer.
occultist, who had pretty much figured out that he had discovered the 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 way to bring uh, people back, but it's also bringing back abominations. And we're not talking Frankenstein, by the way, who is celebrating 94 years of Frankie.
Oh yeah,
Congratulations.
he's looking great. I got to give it to him.
Just he's working out.
Well, he's pulled himself together really nicely. Really nicely. Yeah.
All the stitches, that you can't even tell they're scars anymore.
Right, he's healing up. He's looking good. Yeah, he's going to be sexiest man alive here coming up. Alive here. Well, no,
sexiest
he is
cool by far.
Yeah, he gets lucky by that because he gets to be undead and fully alive at the same time.
Right.
Right? It's like, man.
I mean, this is and this is a tale that, of obsession. And as scientists, and let's just say, some of us budding occultists as well, you come across something prolific like, the secrets to resurrection, you're gonna want to go that line and see if it works. It's one of those things. If you try to do it, you just might get what your wish is. And who wouldn't want to meet their long lost relative? You just didn't realize he was gonna eat you.
Just a little
to the point where this poor wife of his thinks that's her husband, and it's not actually her husband. It's actually Charles Dexter Ward, back from the grave, ate her husband, and is continuing his diabolical work.
Well, at least he's putting in the work.
That's right. But the thing is, though, there's a price to bringing these creations, back to this world. Is you got to feed them. They get a little anxious. They get a little rambunctious if you're not giving them the meat.
True. That is true. We have those problems with the crabs we try to raise. They get pinchy.
I mean, you'd have a little attitude too if you were hangry.
Yeah, but have you ever tried to feed a rock lobster?
Rock lobster.
Exactly. They only want to hear B-52s.
People crabs.
Yeah, they're a pain in the ass. Oh, man. Let me tell you, don't rent to one of them. Really, because they just leave the place a mess, and it reeks of
hell. They party way too much. They need some help.
But I don't understand. Why does their house smell of pickled herring? How did they get pickled herring under the sea?
Right.
I don't get that. It's like, but they won't tell you, but then they won't pay their rent and just try to get you to join their freaking pyramid scheme.
Exactly.
Won't do it. This
always on the hustle.
People, you understand? Squid people. There's a difference.
In 1991, you had Scream come out, but then you had this come out as well. That it didn't quite hit in theaters the way I'm sure the studio had hoped, but it was. I mean, to see this on the big screen, I was genuinely, beautifully terrified watching this thing. I mean, obviously being a Chris Sarandon fan, but this poor woman finds out that he's got this like pit catacombs below the property that she never knew was there. Now, mind you, they inherited this house. But below are all these creatures, and they're feisty.
That's where it's not like buyer's remorse. It's like, oh, here's free, creatures for you to play with.
Yeah. It comes with pets.
I like that.
You just got to make sure you keep them happy.
Of course. Yeah.
you know, he manages to have these corpses, you know, brought to the house. Cops are starting to sniff around. They're pesky as fuck, especially when
Yeah.
you're robbing the dead. Uh, and you're wondering why, you know, this is happening.
But you know, the cops don't even ask the dead if they're cool with it or not. They always
Exactly.
assume that we're
They
the
didn't
bad
have a
guys.
choice in the matter. They
Yeah,
didn't
I
realize.
don't get that.
They
It's
didn't
like
realize that their happy hereafter was to be meat for the beast.
exactly. It's like you should have seen Mortimer get handcuffed by the cops one time because they thought he was doing illegal digging in his own graveyard.
Right.
You
And the
know,
whole thing that gives it away is the foul stench of death.
well, his hands fell off, and then they freaked out, and it's like it was pretty funny. I remember that night. I think that was Mort Wool's first keg party.
Well, and I love the fact that her husband is a chemical engineer.
Oh, there you go.
So, chemist, occultist, alchemist. You know what I'm saying? It's like a blending of those professions. Yeah. And I don't know, man. This one gave me the chilly willies in the best way. And that's hard to do because, you know, I hang out with the dead all the time, demons and everything else. But these creatures, though, man, they are testy. And when they're hungry and they're charging at you full speed, well, you better make sure you get your ass out of there. So I highly recommend checking this one out. And is definitely by far one of my top all-time favorites of H.P. Lovecraft films. What you got next for him there, Cthulhu?
From Beyond.
1986. Humans are such easy prey.
Yeah. This one to me is really
it's magic
because yeah, exactly, because it leads into what you were saying. This is 7-page story by H.P. Lovecraft that is turned through Stuart Gordon and the writers to a feature-length film. Okay, but the core concept is the same. Stimulating a gland that you have, well, humans have in their body.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and with technology, with the sound, with the vibration.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like hitting the right frequency to where you can instantly see other worlds and through other dimensions. The only problem, though, is when the things look back at you.
Yeah, if you let them know you're there, they're gonna get hungry. It's kind of like cosmic piranhas coming after your ass.
Yes, but it's more too that it's more of an emotional state.
Yes.
It's I want to stimulate you to the point that you cannot take it anymore, to where reality bends and you see things that you can't imagine. And if you're not around a certain device, which is our big creation of the film, the resonator.
Now it's like the name of a vibrator myself, but
well, the interesting thing about our resonator is this film became such a cult hit for people. The resonator's sound was sampled by the Beastie Boys for Intergalactic.
Yep.
So, I mean, it tells you, and you've got Jeffrey Combs, the amazing Jeffrey Combs.
And one of his best roles.
Where he's not injecting people with neon green.
No, there's no injections. And to be honest, he had put a stop to the madness because he knows the dangers of doing this.
Yeah, and that's a thing too. It really was exactly. We have Barbara Crampton. We love Barbara Crampton.
Yes, we do. She is an absolute delight, and becomes a different person. We
Yeah.
see her character as a psychologist who is trying to find out why Jeffrey Combs's character has become insane, and quickly develops the same obsession. Uh, and I love the fact that the resonator is almost like a drug that you just can't get enough of. We're
Exactly.
talking
Yeah.
about the physical part of the brain known as the pineal gland or pineal gland, however you say it.
Yeah.
But by doing this, this is also known as the third eye.
Yeah.
That you hear in certain, occult groups, obviously, as well as new age groups too. But this is a true to life gland that we have.
Yeah.
And it's right there.
Yeah. Sixth sense.
Yes. And in this case, they're able to bring it to its ultimate form.
Yeah.
Which kind of looks like a mini dick coming out of your head.
Well, yeah. Yeah. And I do know that the FX crew kind of had a time trying to design that. Yeah.
It's almost alienic in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
You could see the tentacle obsession very early on.
Oh well, there's nothing wrong with that personally.
No, not at all.
I find those people nice. It's just hard to get them to leave the boat.
Well, you take a movie like The Thing, which a lot of people say was kind of like quasi inspired by H.P. Lovecraft. And you think of the many different things that kind of pop out from some of the special effects in that film. So people were already used to little things that can like twitch and move and make you think that you're just completely in nirvana, at this point. And, Jeffrey Combs's character is the only one this actually happens to. But there's somebody else in the mix that just becomes something much, much more.
That is true.
Dr. Pretorius.
Yeah.
That motherfucker, man.
You gotta have a doctor that really gets into his work.
I know. I like to call him the Doctor of Love. Because it wasn't really his idea so much. Like it wasn't. He didn't know that he wanted to. I think his goal for the resonator was not the same as Jeffrey Combs's character's goal for the machine, because he was looking, how can I expand pleasure on the biggest, craziest level I can possibly do it? Because we love your videotapes, we love your work. Something very indicative of the late 80s going into the 90s,
right?
S&M, folk. And, Barbara Crampton's character, she sees that tape and it's like, I'm suddenly drawn. I'm like, I want to do this. And, they get the machine working again after pulling poor Jeffrey Combs out of the sanitarium. And the nurse was even like, bitches, don't do it. He needs to stay here. And he wanted to stay. He knew he wasn't crazy, but he damn sure didn't want to go back there.
Right. It's like that's what messed him up in the first place, man. Told him to wear his earplugs, but people don't listen to you. They don't.
Right?
Like, a man shows up in a rain slicker and some octopus tentacles, and suddenly I'm the suspicious one.
And we also have the great, legendary Ken Faree,
Oh,
whom
yeah.
I had the pleasure of meeting good couple times.
Jealous.
He is a fantastic actor, and he's like a cop slash bodyguard on this expedition.
So while we've seen him kicking the crap out of zombies before,
Oh, yes,
he's
we
well
have.
prepared for to put in some work and really, defend the
Now,
situation and try to help a Barbara Crampton out.
my only
And
concern with his character is why they had to name him Bubba Brownie.
I think because Ken Foray is the only dude that can legitimately play tough enough to pull it off.
Oh, well, without a doubt, and he does that.
He gets away with it. It's the same kind of what
Like
he
you
did
named
in,
him after a dessert, like Mr. Big Dessert. And in this film, he very much is. He packs a hard punch and saves their asses more than once.
right.
As Barbara Crampton's character, Dr. Catherine, damn it.
It's Mick.
Shit. Mix something. Yeah, something like that. And saves her from herself, basically.
Yeah.
Because she becomes obsessed with the resonator. Which is a major no-no, because obviously it was leading her closer to Dr. Pretorius, who basically comes back from the dead. This poor guy had one of the ethereal fish, bite his head off, and he's dead, right? But no, he is caught within the stream. Which there should have been a warning label disclaimer on the machine to let him know that this was not the best idea.
Yeah, don't cross the streams.
No, he's like, I want to cross them and I want to fuck everybody.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly what I got off of him. I wouldn't have him as my physician.
So
but I get him a vet most of the time anyway, so it doesn't matter.
So you can basically say, I mean, obviously this is definitely a creature feature, and it's phenomenally done. Very phenomenally done, which gave so much influence to other creature features were basically scientific-based horror films. Of the times.
Quite a bit.
And he's like constantly trying to grab that boot. Got to get the booty. I mean, we're talking about Barbara Crampton's world-class booty, right?
Yes.
How could you not want to touch the hiney? I mean, he's obsessed with it, and he thinks he's got her hooked. And then, suddenly we see Jeffrey Combs. He's completely evolved as a being himself, but realizes he's got to rip the mini dick out of his forehead, therefore, severing his connection, which is a higher consciousness. Very, very occult principles running through this film. Even though it's a creature feature, it's not a, satanic kind of thing, but this has become a cult classic. Excellent choice, sir. Excellent choice. I'm going to fast forward us a little bit. And what actually was the basis of me wanting to bring this to the slab for H.P. Lovecraft. It's because I watched a newer, just in the last couple years, H.P. Lovecraft film that is independently done. So great independent horror. It is H.P. Lovecraft's Witch House. And this is one for the ages, people. Definitely modest budget. Absolutely modest budget. Where we find this young gal who was tragically she was carrying a child, and a family member had somebody kind of beat her up to the point where she lost it. And from then on, clinically, scientifically, she could not have any more children. And she's worried about this fellow finding her, so she wants to disappear. So she's in college, she's doing her dissertation and all that to become, a doctor in her field. And her professor tells her of this place where she can go and rent a room and hide for a while. Nobody would find her. What she doesn't know is the history of this house and those that inhabit it. We got to love those types of tales where you think you're going somewhere great, it's going to work out, it's going to be wonderful. This poor gal. So her dissertation, and I love this, is the idea that geometric shapes, hello, Occult 101, can actually open doorways to different dimensions. Classic H.P. Lovecraft right here. And, she gets up there and they put her up in the attic. And the owner of the house's daughter is like, she's going to put you anywhere. You don't have to be in the attic. But she's like, no, I want to be in the attic. And there's a loose floorboard that just suddenly kind of just gets ajar just a little bit, revealing that there is an altar cloth all wrapped up nice and neat inside. And, she's still very much into her studies at this point. And, curious, of course, unravels the thing, goes to bed that night, and suddenly the dreams begin. And I absolutely love the dream sequences in these films because it makes you feel like, well, am I here? Am I there? Am I really here? It's the awesome H.P. Lovecraft bending of realities, where she suddenly finds herself within this ritual and she cuts her hand. Blood gets on the altar cloth. The next thing you know, they start solidifying her madness into this group of witches. And she starts over time noticing that there are a few people from the house that show up in these witch nightmares where they're doing these occult rituals. But she can't tell if it's happening now. Is it happening when she's asleep? Is it just a dream? Am I moving between dimensions? And that's literally the thing. She goes like a fucking dumbass. I hate to say that. She wants to try her theory out and geometrically draws a hexagon with a pentacle in the middle and lights a few candles, and suddenly, she is in a new dimension and is able to move through this. Here's the thing. Once you draw it, that motherfucker is always open, and it can always drag you into it, whether you're conscious or not. And she gets farther into the descent of madness. And this is where probably a lot of people will be like, oh, yeah. So these witches are trying to bring about the Antichrist. Okay. And basically, she is to become the vessel. This poor girl, she's come from trauma. She's trying to hide from somebody that is dangerous. And here she is getting sucked in and is to become, basically the bride of Lucifer.
Right, Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah, kind of, but this is way different. Okay. Because, she's dreaming when she's awake, she's dreaming when she's asleep. I mean, this girl is constantly under attack from this opened portal that her bright ass idea was to draw on the floor, not
True.
knowing that this house has been a witch house since like its inception. The moment that building was built back in late 1800s, early 1900s. And it's always been under constant, like generation after generation of witches. These are not the good kind, people. They are doing the devil's work. And that's okay with me. Of course. I always want to see us win. Uh, and this is, I mean, classic. Oh my goodness. Classic H.P. Lovecraft. So she gets back into the dream state. She's sucked back in through the portal. And unknowingly, a demon, she's thrust into the middle of this ritual. And this demon shoots tentacles out of itself. Tentacles.
Nice.
It's tentacle time, right?
Right.
And inseminates her. So she finds out that she is with child, and she says, "I can't be with child. I can't bear children." But the doc says, "Oh, you most definitely are with child." And then one of the witches tells her, I guess, had an attack of conscience or something. The daughter of the people that oversee this house tells her that the only way to overcome this and destroy all of this apocalypse that's about to befall you is by taking this ritual dagger and plunging it into said person. So naturally, I'm like, okay, let's see if you can pull it off, because right now things are looking pretty bad. And the crazy part is her professor's in on it too. So the one witch's mom, who is the caretaker of this house, finds out, kills her for being a traitor. And I was like, oop, didn't see that happening. Okay. Got to get rid of him. Her, sorry. And also has kind of plunged her brother into this madness too, where he is the one to procure the children that basically have to be sacrificed in order to make all this happen. So he's doing child abducting through the film. This movie's crazy. And he is like a devout Christian, but he's a drunk, like he's constantly drinking. And we figure out why later on, because, he's under the witch's spell that he's got to do all these heinous crimes. Well, things don't end up so good for him.
And you surround yourself with,
Yeah, exactly. And the crazy thing about all of it is, within her dream, she's able to plunge this dagger into the evil one, which is supposed to like make everything good, gray skies, sun comes out, all that shit.
Shiny happy people.
Shiny happy people, right? But no. So before she was to go and take this new place, suddenly we find her waking up on her friend's thigh in the very beginning, where she fell asleep and was like, okay, I'm going to, go get this place. Well, she hasn't gone yet. So it turns out this whole time was just a dream. Classic H.P. Lovecraft. But when she wakes up, she's pregnant, and guess what? Was it really a dream? You can find out if you go on to Tubi tonight or add this to your Saturday night, and you will find out what happens in the end, because this film bends realities 65,000 different ways, and then you wonder what is real, what is not, what is happening here. And this is an independent film, people. They do a phenomenal job. It's called H.P. Lovecraft's Witch House on Tubi for free. No excuses. Go and watch it.
Good one.
I mean, they had me at Witch House because I know they throw good parties.
Well, yeah, no, and they've done another version of it called Haunted Castle with Vincent Price. But it's a totally different film. It's like a totally different style film.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, that's totally different. And it's like, it's great though. And I like that. See, it's like you were saying, you can take what you were given from his inception of the story and go with it and add your own flair to it to change up the same story. So you could see the same, like based off the same work by Lovecraft.
Yeah.
Be two separate, completely separate films.
Well, it's all up to the writers and the creative minds.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially with the director's vision.
Exactly, and it's like, but it's hard in some cases for people to be able to understand some writers.
Sure,
you know, it's like we've had
absolutely believe that
Stephen King things, where they didn't listen to him, and it's like he wrote it. You might want to listen to what he's
those details. It's like, what the fuck?
It's like, whoa, that doesn't make sense. And it's like, then you get like Rose Red, and it's like, oh, they listened to him. And people loved Rose Red because they nailed it.
Well, yeah.
You nailed it. The It miniseries, things like that. You nailed it.
Look at how bad people had a hard time figuring out what was going on in The Stand.
Yeah. And The Stand, I remember being a big television series like event.
It was an event, yes.
Yeah, it's like, do not miss the Stephen King's The Stand.
Oh, I loved it. And I was hooked. I was completely hooked.
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, but that's the thing. It's Lovecraft is attracted so many different artists that want to give their interpretation to his works.
And so every new adaptation is so darker than
it
one
adds,
before.
Yeah, it adds to it. You know, but it's also
brings a whole new life to it.
Their own legacy within his creation of world.
Yes.
His concepts, per se.
Absolutely.
Because, all praise can't go to Lovecraft. We got to give it to the, like you said, the writers, the actors, the directors, everybody that brings these films to life.
Absolutely. But, sometimes, my dear old dad, Lucifer, tends to, get a little crabby. He's like, stop giving away secrets.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that too. And we told him, I mean, I know. Who was that? I think it was my 7th or 8th generation grandfather that sent him a pretty stern letter one time.
He tried.
That told Lovecraft to stop giving away our secrets. And I don't think he got the letter. I don't know if, he wrote it on paper, because that don't really work underwater too well. So I don't know.
Ink may have ran,
Well, yeah, I know. I'm sure he used ink. I'm with you there, but yeah, I don't know if he ever got the message, because he kept on pumping them out.
Exactly.
Made us a tourism spot to mention now, and it's like,
God damn it, stop it.
I try to say that.
We don't want that kind of attention.
I have people that are book nerds come up and take pictures with me. And it's I don't know who you are. No, I don't want it. I'm not.
The cosplayers, I'm sure they're all over your ass too.
Well, it's like, I'm at my job, it's like, I'm sitting here. I don't come mess with you guys.
It's like suddenly everybody wants a pair of, fresh pair of horns. I mean, it's flattering. It's flattering, but
You know?
if you don't walk with the infernal and you're not of the infernal line, well, gotta go.
You know, and it's like with me,
We'll roast you later.
I got cuts and cuts, so I stick to all kinds of things. And it's like it makes my day more difficult to lose my concentration. Oh,
What is your last pick for the best
well,
of Lovecraft films?
I'm gonna go with a film that is based off of a short story by H.P. Lovecraft called The Outsider. And we end up with Castle Freak.
Oh,
Look at it.
my
Oh, look at
goodness.
him.
We yet again have our dear Jeffrey Combs. I mean, isn't she beautiful right there? Jeffrey Combs is back and better than ever. And as you can see there from the director of Reanimator and Fortress.
Exactly. And see, on this one, we get to set it up to where we actually get almost a little style to the other ways. Was that yeah, very much so. That they inherit a 12th century castle.
See, here we go again. What did we find out about inherited real estate? There's always a fucking secret.
Yeah, and this film is exactly why I picked this one. Is that exact? It is your renter's bonus buy. That when you buy a 12th century castle, usually it comes with your own very own castle freak somewhere in the dungeon. Now,
and we love our freaks.
When we say castle freak, we mean to the point to where this person has been kept in the dungeon, in the dark, and locked away. And when they get out, which they always get out, can be a little handsy, is what I'd like to say. Just a little handsy. He's a lonely boy.
I like to say sexually oppressed.
Yeah.
She's frustrated. She hasn't gotten her groove on in ages.
Well, that's Parble. I mean, Parblet, I was trying to tell her she needed the rest of her lip, but she didn't listen to me. It's like, just sew that bugger on, it's right there, but,
Tomato.
Well, I think they like that full teeth look.
Right.
It's like, no, I really want to show my teeth. And it's like,
she's a diva.
Yeah,
she's
true.
a diva. You can't tell her nothing. You can't tell her to get her nails done. Nothing like that. But man, can she put it down. When she puts the disclaimer out that I will rock your world, she can get the job done.
Freaky deaky. But it's like, you move into this castle, and then all these strange, interesting individuals start popping up. Oh yeah, no, you didn't know we lived here, or you didn't know we lived around the castle. It's like, yeah, no. Nobody told me there was people living here.
We've been here a lot longer than you.
Right, and it's like they're supposed to just kind of just deal with them, you've got them now, and it's like, but then they start giving whispers about a deformed creature that more or less haunts the castle. In a lot of ways they feel like, oh, you're just trying to scare us to make us give up this castle. Which this castle is owned by Charles Band from Full Moon Entertainment. Yeah, and literally had to clean up all the filming of Blood before the family reunion happened. So I thought it was quite fitting for the Horror BBQ.
That's amazing.
Yes, but it's like, but that's what you do though as a filmmaker. You take what you've got to work with.
Well, sure. And this place is beautiful.
Well, if you happen to have an Italian castle from the 12th century, you put it in a horror film and you put a castle freak in there.
You better. Well, Well, and the crazy thing that I love about this film, because obviously uh, Jeffrey Combs' character ain't getting no play from his wife at all.
She's
She's
Barbara Crampton.
right.
Oh,
It's
so
like,
it hurts
are you
twice.
serious, man?
It hurts twice.
It does. And what's the first thing he does? He goes for the first woman that shows him some attention.
There you go.
And
First mistake.
like a dummy, brings her to the castle. I was just like, there's a despicable person that is currently chained up that you might not know about, but still, you don't bring a back to your castle and try to get it on and think that nothing is going to happen.
Well, that's the whole thing. It's like he thought of getting her there. He didn't think of getting her out of the castle.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And well, let's face it, she was gorgeous too.
Well, no, I mean exactly, and it's like, and you got a castle freak. He wants to get his freak on.
You gotta love the biggest satanic commandment of them all, of lust and desire.
Well,
and every single one of these guys, that show up in so many of H.P. Lovecraft's works, are all about the lust and desire. And
they're horn dogs.
Gimme. I mean, they're all whores. Come on.
And it's like for this one is interesting on that end too. Because like for the outsider, the story it's based on, it's almost like H.P. Lovecraft's version of The Man in the Iron Mask.
Yeah, I agree with that. 1,000%.
Yeah, because it's like royalty, and one of the brothers is deformed. So
right.
The king brother has his brother locked in the dungeon and kept there, and basically just kept there, and then becomes his own castle freak. Because they stopped being a human being like a long time ago. And it's more of a primal animal that just works off of, like you said, his base wants and desires. He doesn't really go for more than that. And he doesn't ask nicely.
Nope, sure don't.
To anybody for anything. So, yeah, they're going to have like a renter's agreement with him, or like come to like a meeting, and be like, hey, stop eating people we bring over. Stop doing that to that lady.
Eaters Anonymous.
Keep your hands to yourself. Yes, both of them. Not like that. Stop. Don't put your no. So you can't tell him
abducting people.
Yeah, you can't tell him don't ass race across the carpet. He'll do that too. He's not a great house guest. Really, I tried to help him out. I tried to help him out. But you do not bring a castle freak to a houseboat. It doesn't work. He's like, where's the dungeon? It's like, I don't have one. What do you want from me, man? It's like, I gave you a couch, and then anytime I bring somebody over, they're fish food before I get to them. That's
exactly.
Not right,
it's like nobody wants to come over anymore.
Exactly. It's like, don't be greedy, man.
But what a horrific, story. To the point where Castle Freak herself wants to get her groove on, and boy, does she get it.
Yeah. But we also get more Barbara Crampton.
Very much so.
But it's also you get her as the role of the mom battling to protect her kid from this thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's what I always like with Barbara Crampton and Jeffrey Combs. No matter how crazy the role is, they're going to play it as serious as a heart attack. So and it's appreciated. It's
that's the thing. Everybody has, throughout all these films, have looked at her as, the ultimate spank bank material.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, she delivers every role to the max.
Yeah, exactly. It's like she was definitely one of our scream queens, exactly. And they're like, "Oh, she's gorgeous," and it's like, yes,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And
she's gorgeous. But
even
that's one thing about her. It's like you're saying. It's like every single role
her lines are
she did,
impeccable.
yeah, she blows you away. She's an amazing actress. Her being beautiful is one thing about her. One
And
thing. She's also a sweetheart. You
yeah,
know, she's an amazing actress. You know, it's just like,
amazing person.
you know,
Period.
exactly. And it's like, don't put somebody in a box.
No.
You know, and it's like with Jeffrey Combs. You look at Jeffrey Combs, every role he's ever in, he delivers and delivers and delivers and delivers. And it's the same thing. He's a good, decent, down to earth person that's amazingly talented and has, like us, you know, we have respect for the authors and stuff and the writers that have created these things that have become horror legends and horror icons of film.
Yeah. I mean, they're the ones that gave us our diabolical playlands.
Right, exactly.
You know?
But it's also
and
too,
they do it with the utmost respect.
exactly. So that's I had to go getting our freak on.
But like all legends like that, you know, it comes crashing down. It does not end well. And as a matter of fact, there is not one but two adaptations of this. And actually, you know, for both of us here at the Horror BBQ, I challenge you to watch both adaptations. There's the one from the 90s, which I will probably say till my last breath, if that ever comes. I don't think it's possible. But still, check out the first one, Jeffrey Combs, Barbara Crampton. It's magic. But I have to, you know, I didn't hate it. The newer one that came out in the 2000s, yeah, I want to say the 2000s. It's really good too. So I think it would be badass if you maybe had a Castle Freak night and just checked out both films. Each one brings something different to the table without losing the source material. That's what I think is important there.
I agree.
Hell yeah. So my last one is kind of a anthology. Well, it's not kind of. It actually is an anthology of quite a few H.P. Lovecraft short stories. And we love that, right?
The merrier.
Yeah, absolutely. All based on that one book that we know you shouldn't fuck with and never say the wrong words. Klaatu, right. The Necronomicon, which is a story by the great H.P. Lovecraft, and I think was probably the first person to bring this book to life. Now, the crazy part that many people probably don't realize is that's a real book, people. I've seen it. I've read it. I've even read the compendium with the spells. Let me tell you, you want a good time or a not so good time? Read it. But in this case, we have an anthology, 3 stories, and go figure, comes out right around 1993. It is like season of H.P. Lovecraft from 91 and forward. Just great adaptations. We got Jeffrey Combs back, who actually shows up as H.P. Lovecraft himself in this. And who better, you know,
I agree.
To be in that role. I think that's iconic because Lizzie says the necro nom 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 nom.
Nom 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 nom.
We don't say it. That's right. With special makeup animatronic effects that were supervised by the great Tom Savini. And created by Screaming Mad George, Christopher Nelson, John Carl Butchler. Hopefully I said that right. It's hard to bring about many stories by this ingenious author of fear and fright and bringing it into one creation. And it says it, H.P. Lovecraft visits a monastery where a copy of the Necronomicon is held. He's requesting to read it, to read the Alchemical Encyclopedia, Volume 3. Lovecraft steals a key from another monk and flees to the cellar vault where the Necronomicon is being held. A monk spies on him. The vault door closes behind Lovecraft, making him drop the key down a grating and into the water. One of the seals is open. Lovecraft sits to read and records what he is reading. And we get 3 tales. I think this is just brilliant. I mean, especially Jeffrey Combs. I mean, come on. You can't go wrong here.
Yeah,
We get 2 great tales. 3 great tales. One called The Drowned, which is based on The Rats in the Walls by H.P. Lovecraft. I mean, you can kind of already get a sense of the fright that is to befall these people. So, in this story, we have a family that is just plagued by, bad luck, bad everything, all the way around. This character by the name of Jethro, his nephew Edward, is distraught over a car accident before which accidentally, takes his wife out. He finds the Necronomicon and performs the ritual to revive her. Do I need to go any further with that? That's just not one of those rituals you want to, pull out on your Sunday afternoon and do. Not a good idea here.
Sometimes when they just ask for it.
Well, and you're gonna like this, Mort Tulu, because his wife begins to regurgitate tentacles.
My kind of girl.
In a panic, and Edward takes a sword and cuts her. So he's trying to fight off all these tentacles. She turns into. Well, here's the thing: you done pissed it off.
Yeah, it's always the case. I mean, we can grow them back, but it's a pain in the butt.
Well,
so it's you chop off a tentacle, you tick us off pretty quick.
Exactly. In true Lovecraftian lore, by cutting these tentacles that are shooting out of her mouth, she then becomes a giant tentacle monster.
There you go. Yep.
I think we all know that things are not going to end well for Edward.
Oh, yeah, no, because it's like, okay, what was it? Mortimer had told me about them. They were things that were sold in the 80s that looked like little see-through, not pills really, but like little tablets that you threw in water and a big giant sponge creature would come out of it, or a dinosaur or something like that. And that's kind of how it works with us. You chop one of our tentacles off and we get 2 to 3 times our size most of the time.
Well, it's like when you deal with those pesky mogwai and you feed them after midnight and they get wet. They're going to turn into something much worse.
They'll mess up the carpet too. You got to be careful about that. You won't get that security deposit back.
Oh yeah, and just like the Krites,
Oh yeah,
they
they
get to
always had a
feeding, they
house at
get to
home.
eating, and suddenly they're gonna
Yeah,
like become ginormous.
yeah. I
You
was I
can't
was
get rid of them after that.
I was at a fisherman's rest one time, and they literally chewed through the table that we were sitting there eating dinner at. And it's like, if I knew you were that hungry, man, I'd have bought you a side of food. I mean, come on. But they just talk crap and then roll off. So it's like, whatever. Hey, the bounty hunters didn't show up. I'm happy because they don't pay that property damage back that they blow everything up. Space guns. It's not fair.
Right. The next one is pretty much a mistaken identity. And the reason that this film is called the Necronomicon is because it shows up literally in every installment of this. 3 separate stories. The Necronomicon is, in fact, the catalyst for catastrophic fucking chaos. And that's what I love about this.
Oh, yeah.
And I definitely need to revisit this film, too, because it's been a minute. And I just really dig it.
Yeah, no, it's a great film. It'll actually kind of bring the scares, too.
Yeah.
It's a surprise, but it messes with your head. It's like nightmare and dreamscapes and stuff. It plays with your head and your realities.
Exactly.
It's so better.
We have a family, Emily's family, that unfortunately, engages in a lot of unsavory activity. We'll call it that, to the point where there's a reason to take out the stepfather. And the next day after this event happens, let's see here. Says the next day while job hunting, Emily sees police with flyers asking for information about her stepfather, Sam. She confronts Richard, and he comes clean. Though Sam died from the fall, he would have killed Sam regardless because he was a piece of shit, obviously. But in the middle of this, he reveals a copy of the Necronomicon. There it is. Through which he learned how to sustain life. So Emily, kind of like beaten down by trauma, ends up using this. And at the end of it here, it does not end well.
They never do.
No, because Emily wants to have a baby, but somehow manages to switch identities and all this stuff. It's actually really, really good. It's a good adaptation of Cool Air by H.P. Lovecraft, which brings us to our last one, which is based on The Whisperer in the Darkness. You never know who's talking to you. They can't shut up. They always got something to say. During a pursuit of a suspect known as the Butcher, I like him already.
Yeah.
2 Philadelphia police officers argue over their failed relationship, and it leads to a crash. So, go figure. 2 cops arguing in the car, and they fucking crash. I mean, poetic justice.
Right.
They
give themselves the ticket.
Well, right. One of them is knocked out and dragged off by an unseen person. But Sarah breaks the window, exits the vehicle, and can't call backup or anything, but she follows a blood trail. Those are always fun because blood trails always lead to good things, right?
Yeah, that is true.
She gets to a warehouse. She finds somebody there by the name of Harold, insists that he is merely the landlord of the warehouse and the butcher is a tenant. So, obviously they're on the trail of trying to catch the serial killer. Um, Takes the shotgun and orders both of the people that she finds at this place to lead her to the butcher, and she makes her way to a cavern. Caverns are just not a good place to be. Well, she finds her dear old partner being eaten by bats. So, they tend to enjoy, delicacy of humans. But these are not any ordinary bats. They are just straight up man eaters. I swear, Vlad the Impaler can't get them under control, so go figure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but we find the film ending where Lovecraft is confronted by the monk that he had stolen the Necronomicon from. And he assures him that all will be fine if he opens the door. Lovecraft admits he dropped the key. The monk is pissed, and he's trying to get the book back, but, the head monk, who is not human, dun, 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 go figure. Did you think the Necronomicon was being, safely hidden by someone of this world? Of course not. But I don't want to ruin the ending for you, so you'll just have to figure out for yourself when watching the Necronomicon in order to find out what happens to H.P. Lovecraft himself. Does he survive the Necronomicon and takes it with him, or does he say, fuck it, I gotta go? Right, Lizzie. She says, there's a pot of gold at the end of every blood trail. Oh, wait. It never ends well. So many different short stories that each one of the anthology is based on. So it's like a cornucopia of the range of madness, all brought together by one single book. And if you've ever read the Necronomicon, you know you don't fuck with that book.
Pretty much, yep. That's what I've always been told.
And here we are in 2025, moments away from 2026, and H.P. Lovecraft stories are still gracing the silver screen, and there is a reason for that. His diabolical mind, 100 years ago, damn near, is still relevant and scaring and putting the fear in all of us. And that says something. If Stephen King and Clive Barker could be hailed for the next 100 years doing the exact same thing. I mean, Stephen King is well on his way, but they need to stop remaking the same films and take some of the other stories, people. That's my only bitch.
No, I agree.
To Stephen
King.
I
agree. Because a lot of his really, really good ones never get touched. And it's like,
I swear.
Yeah.
It's like there's so much material there that any filmmaker with a fucking creative mind could make something stellar out of.
Yep.
I don't know, Morthulu. Do you think it's because they just try to grab the big ones? the ones that are like top 10 sellers, to suddenly go, let's turn that into a movie or
The series.
mm,
I don't clown around about it.
kind of like a franchise. Yeah, I could
Yeah, a
see
little
that.
bit.
Books, in a way, can be a franchise.
Yeah.
But, that's one thing about H.P. Lovecraft that is different. We are getting constant films based on so many short stories and not volume 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5
Right.
to get source material for. And that's one of the things that we love about Lovecraft is the fact that he could write, like you said, 7 to 10 pages, and there's enough there to fuck you up. And
Yeah.
it gives the writers and the directors so much freedom to interpret what's there. I think that's more of a challenge. I think that's more
It's not easy.
no, it's
Yeah,
not.
it's not easy.
But what we are seeing, which with every incarnation of these stories, is just mind blowing. Like I said, even The Color of Space, which is like one of the biggest ones right now. And
Mm-hmm.
if you haven't checked it out and you happen to have a Prime Video AMC Plus, you can catch that because Shudder is packed in with that particular subscription. Check it out. It's wild. Absolutely wild. And that's why we say H.P. Lovecraft, the godfather of cosmic horror. But the fucking funny thing about it is there's so much occultism packed in to every story. It's almost like it's the underlying theme of every story. And then suddenly it becomes this, oh man, fabric of reality bending, universe. Might as well. I mean, yeah, I think we could call it the H.P. Lovecraft universe, really. Some
Yeah.
people say that's where we got Hellboy.
Maybe loosely inspired,
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. There is a list of films that are considered Lovecraftian inspired films.
Yeah.
And there's a reason for that. There's a little bit of Lovecraft in all of us.
A little bit of Tentacle.
That's right. Anytime you see those films that you see reels of all over Instagram, it's all about the tentacle loving and the art of the tentacle being able to reproduce. Doesn't matter what creature it is. And I'm not even talking anime. That's a whole nother thing. So we're not even going to get into that. But some of the best science fiction has to deal with tentacle loving and just diabolical creatures. And who's to say it's not inspired by Lovecraft? He's given us some of the best monsters ever.
Mm-hmm.
Right along with Dagon and, the fish people. So if you haven't checked any of these films out, which hopefully you will, because we didn't really touch upon like the ones that are everyone's go-tos. These are specific films that we know really bring those adaptations to life. So if you haven't seen Dagon or The Resurrected, I think by now everyone's seen From Beyond, but if you haven't, woo, you better get out there and watch it. These are all over Tubi, everywhere. And if it's not on Tubi, it's over on Prime. There is many different ways to check out the ones that we have examined this evening. So if you want to get your, Cthulhu on, because we didn't even mention Cthulhu, but there is a Cthulhu film. and it's bad fucking ass. And like I said, the Witch House is on Tubi for sure. So if you want to check out that fucking just psychological mind fucker is what I like to call them. It's definitely one of those. Every film that we mentioned, definite bangers. So check them out. Hopefully we've inspired you to do so. And hopefully at the same token, we inspired you to go read some of H.P. Lovecraft's written works, books, short stories, the whole 9 yards. Look at the man behind all the madness. And his words, they may speak to you in a very, very unholy cosmic way and might inspire you to want to make a film based on one of those stories, because at the end of the day, if your mind is open, you'll get in there. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight as we have finished our tribute. And trust me, this is a short list of films because there are so many others, so many, and inspired you to go check these films out. And anytime when you're surfing through some of these VOD, streaming sites, if the word H.P. Lovecraft pops up, give it a watch just to see what this film or that film brings to the table. And I haven't really seen a bad one yet, to be perfectly honest. It's kind of hard to do that because you want to pay homage to the lineage of fear and terror and the ultimate horror that you're not expecting. And H.P. Lovecraft really does that. Thank you all out there in the Black Flame universe for tuning in and picking us as your Friday night entertainment. And of course, if you missed it, you can catch the replay. Facebook hasn't blocked either broadcast tonight, so guess what? I know you're Facebookers, and all you got to do is open your app and go to Reapers Underground, Black Flame Entertainment, and YouTube as well. So you can catch the replay. And as you are continuing on your Friday night's entertainment, you might want to look up Grandpappy Lovecraft and check out some of these films and be immersed in lust, desire, the diabolical, as well as the disturbing, and always stay heavy.
Thank you for joining us on Reapers Underground. Stay tuned for more from Black Flame Entertainment.